Libra, beautiful soul, as May 29th and 30th, 2026 begin to unfold, a truth may rise into your heart so deeply that it brings tears to your eyes. These are not tears of pain. They come from recognition, release, and the feeling that something your spirit has waited for is finally arriving at the right time. This is more than a horoscope video. It is a deeply personal moment, a quiet, energetic shift, and a message that seems to have found you for a reason. If you are here, listening to this right now, trust that your presence is not random. Something inside you has been searching for clarity, and during these final days of May, that clarity begins to move closer. There is an opening forming around May 29th and 30th, a gentle but powerful shift that brings hidden emotions and long-buried truths into the light. What your intuition has been trying to tell you may finally become impossible to ignore. The answer could arrive through a conversation, a sudden realization, or even a dream that lingers long after you wake. However it reaches you, it carries the power to loosen something heavy that you have been carrying in silence for far too long. Libra, you have spent so much energy trying to maintain peace for everyone around you while quietly neglecting your own emotional needs. You kept harmony even when your own heart felt exhausted. You smiled through moments that hurt more than anyone realized. You offered forgiveness before receiving understanding in return. But that cycle is beginning to break apart now because your truth is finally ready to surface. During this energetic shift, you may wake around 3 a.m. feeling pressure in your chest or sensing that an invisible emotional weight is slowly lifting away. You may notice repeating numbers, familiar names, memories resurfacing, or strange synchronicities appearing around you. None of these moments are accidental. They are quiet spiritual signals guiding you back toward yourself. If you have ever looked upward in a moment of exhaustion and whispered, "God, please show me a sign," let this message be part of the answer you have been waiting for. Let this video become the confirmation your soul needed in order to trust what it already feels. Pause for a moment and breathe with me. If something inside your chest is reacting right now, if you feel emotional, restless, or suddenly aware of something deeper moving beneath the surface, honor that feeling. Leave the number 222 in the comments below as your way of telling the universe that you are open, present, and ready to receive what is trying to reach you. And before we continue, I truly want to thank you for being here. Every comment, every like, every share, and every subscription helps strengthen this space and the energy we continue building together. Your support matters more than you know, and the trust you bring into this space carries real meaning. So listen carefully, Libra, because what is unfolding around you during this end of May shift is not ordinary. It feels personal, sacred, and deeply connected to where your soul is trying to guide you next. This is not simply another message to hear and forget. Something about it is meant to change the way you see yourself moving forward. So ask yourself honestly, what truth has your heart quietly been waiting to accept? And why does it feel like this moment arrived exactly when you needed it? When the energy in the sky begins to shift, something inside us shifts too. During these last days of May, the movement around you is subtle, almost impossible to explain logically, yet your spirit can feel it. As the moon moves into a lighter and more expansive emotional energy, something hidden beneath the surface starts to soften. You may first notice it through your body, through the way tension slowly releases once you stop bracing yourself against every feeling. For someone like you, someone who has spent so long adapting emotionally and carrying silent pressure with grace, this shift can feel like the first full breath after a long period of emotional exhaustion. Venus, your ruling planet, now encourages a return to emotional balance and deeper self-worth. The energy surrounding you opens space for compassion, not only toward others, but finally toward yourself as well. What once felt confusing, distant, or emotionally unclear may now begin revealing itself with unexpected clarity. This is not happening to overwhelm you. It is happening so you can experience the healing that comes from finally seeing yourself honestly, even if no one else fully understands it yet. Libra, you have spent much of your life being the steady one, the person who keeps balance while everyone else moves through chaos. But protecting the peace becomes exhausting when it asks you to silence your own emotions. This energy shift is not asking you to become someone different. It is asking you to finally include yourself in the care and understanding you so freely give to others. Sometimes, true balance is not about keeping everyone comfortable. Sometimes it exists between honesty and silence, between carrying something longer than you should and finally allowing yourself to release it. As emotions rise during these final days of May, try not to see them as weakness. They are messages from the deeper parts of you that stayed quiet for too long because they never believed they had permission to fully feel. There were versions of you that survived by staying composed while hurting inside. Moments when you swallowed grief, held back tears, and carried emotional weight that was never meant to stay with you forever. Now your soul is beginning to understand something important. You no longer have to hold everything together all the time. This moment is not about falling apart. It is about opening emotionally, so healing finally has room to enter. It is about releasing what your body and spirit quietly carried through exhaustion and emotional overextension. During this end of May transition, you may notice yourself softening in unexpected ways, as though hidden pressure inside you is finally dissolving. Maybe this shift is arriving now because you are finally ready to face what once felt overwhelming. Maybe you are finally safe enough within yourself to stop resisting emotions that have been waiting for acknowledgement. If tears come unexpectedly, let them move through you without shame. Your soul understands how to create space for healing long before your mind catches up. You do not need to explain every feeling in order for it to matter. Sensitivity is not separate from strength. In many ways, it is where real strength begins. In quiet moments, you may sense something deeper beneath the surface. A memory, a dream, or an unshakable knowing may rise gently within you. These moments do not need to arrive dramatically to hold meaning. Even in silence, guidance is still present. Some call it grace, others call it intuition, or the quiet breath of something greater moving through the soul. Whatever language feels true to you, there is a calm but powerful force helping you reconnect with yourself from within. Between sleep and wakefulness, between who you were and who you are becoming, you may begin feeling less alone in this healing process. Let yourself rest there. Let old emotional patterns loosen so something more peaceful and honest can begin taking root within you. And when the instinct to suppress your feelings returns, meet it differently this time. Instead of resisting yourself, become curious about what your heart is trying to say. Ask yourself gently, what if this is the moment I stop carrying everyone else emotionally and finally begin creating space for myself too? Let that question stay with you in the days ahead. Let it remind you that peace, clarity, and emotional rest are not rewards you must earn. They already belong to you. Truth does not always arrive like lightning. Sometimes it comes quietly, like a whisper your soul has heard many times before, but only now feels ready to trust. That is the deeper meaning behind this message for you, Libra. It is not introducing something new, it is revealing something your heart has always known beneath years of silence and emotional endurance. Now, through the symbolism of the cards, that hidden truth begins speaking more clearly. Not to wound you, but to free you. The High Priestess appears first as confirmation that your intuition has been right all along. She reflects the quiet inner voice that kept returning again and again, waiting for you to stop doubting yourself. Her wisdom is calm and certain. She reminds you that inner knowing does not require outside approval to be real. What your soul sensed was never imaginary, And during this period of emotional clarity, something unexpected may finally confirm it through a conversation or realization that suddenly makes everything clearer. Then comes the Ten of Swords, a card many people fear, but one that often carries emotional liberation. Healing sometimes begins through surrender instead of one final attempt to fix everything. This card does not represent destruction. It represents the ending of the version of you that kept holding on to situations that could never truly hold you in return. The Ten of Swords is not about tragedy. It speaks softly about release. It asks whether letting go might actually be an act of grace instead of failure. And then the Star arrives. She enters gently after the emotional storm settles. She appears once enough space has opened within you to finally receive healing, clarity, and peace. Her energy feels like soft light returning after a long emotional night. This card carries more than hope. It carries alignment. It reminds you that healing does not require endless explanations for why you hurt. It reminds you that love, success, and emotional restoration do not always need to be chased. When you return to your truth, the things meant for you begin finding their way back naturally. Together, these three cards reveal a deeper emotional journey unfolding within you. First comes inner knowing, then the release of pain, and finally, the renewal of purpose and alignment. But there is an even deeper layer beneath all of this. This message reflects the way your energy has been working with the universe all along. Whether you see it as divine timing, soul alignment, or the natural return of what you have emotionally invested, something important is unfolding because of the grace and emotional growth you carried through difficult moments. Every time you chose peace instead of reacting from pain, it mattered. Every moment you released something instead of tightening your grip shaped the energy now returning to you. None of your healing has been meaningless. This is where spirituality becomes real life, where emotional wisdom turns into action, where invisible healing becomes the strength supporting you every day. You only need to stop resisting what has already been trying to reach you. And once you allow that shift to happen, clarity begins arriving naturally. The next step reveals itself without force or desperation. There is something sacred about those quiet moments in the middle of the night when all you can hear is your breathing mixed with emotions you cannot fully explain. Around 3 a.m., during those reflective hours, you may suddenly think about someone from your past or feel memories resurfacing unexpectedly. This moment is not meant to frighten you. It is an invitation into deeper emotional clarity. These memories may return now, not to pull you backward, but to help you finally release what no longer belongs in your spirit. If someone from your past suddenly reappears emotionally or physically, it does not automatically mean they are meant to remain in your life. Sometimes the soul revisits unfinished emotions simply to create closure. Letting go does not mean pretending something never mattered. It means remembering it without bitterness controlling your heart anymore. That kind of emotional freedom changes you quietly from within. Growth has already reshaped you. Because of that growth, you are now allowed to create stronger boundaries, speak more honestly, and choose relationships that honor who you are becoming. Real love will never require you to abandon yourself emotionally in order to keep it. During this phase of your life, the universe is gently encouraging you to loosen your attachment, not to your standards, but to the painful stories you once believed about what you deserved. It is okay to admit that part of you once believed staying emotionally small felt safer than beginning again. But now, during this energetic shift at the end of May, a different question is rising inside you. What if releasing the past is actually what opens the door to something healthier and more aligned? Many people wait for outside validation before allowing themselves to walk away from something painful. Yet real permission often begins internally, through the realization that peace matters more than winning emotional battles that only drain your spirit. You do not need one final apology in order to heal completely. What matters most now is recognizing that your emotional well-being deserves protection. Letting go is rarely dramatic. Most of the time, it happens quietly through a single moment of surrender, through one deep breath where you finally stop carrying the weight of old memories and begin preparing your spirit for what comes next. That shift may seem subtle at first, but it changes everything beneath the surface. So if you have been feeling the urge to pull your energy back or step away from situations that leave you emotionally drained, take this as gentle confirmation. You are not moving away from love. You are moving toward a version of love that allows you to remain fully yourself. And if this message reflects where you are emotionally right now, pause for a moment and ground yourself in it. Say it softly or write it in the comments below. I release what holds me back. I step into truth. I no longer need to prove that I deserve love because my worth already exists within me. Let those words become your intention tonight. Not a return to old pain, but a return to yourself. And just as emotions move through the body to reveal where healing is needed, the same process begins unfolding within your outer world, including your finances, your work, and your relationship with abundance. As May 29th and 30th, 2026 approach, the shift you have been feeling internally begins appearing in the outer parts of your life as well. You may notice movement in areas where you once felt overlooked, uncertain, or emotionally exhausted from waiting. This especially touches the parts of your life where you stayed patient, worked quietly, and questioned whether your efforts truly mattered. Libra, remember this: energy offered with sincerity is never wasted. Every decision you made from integrity, every moment you stayed aligned with your values, even when no one noticed, has been building momentum beneath the surface. During this end of May transition, some of that energy may finally return in visible ways. Recognition that once felt delayed may suddenly arrive quietly, but in a way that feels deeply aligned. An opportunity you believed had passed may reopen unexpectedly. Someone who disappeared professionally may reconnect. An unanswered application, delayed response, or situation that once felt emotionally closed off may begin moving again because your energy no longer approaches it from desperation or fear. The same may happen financially. A delayed payment, unexpected support, or a new source of abundance may arrive naturally during this period. This is not about sudden luck. It is about alignment, finally creating room for what could not fully reach you before. Money carries emotional energy just as much as material value. It flows more easily where there is trust, clarity, and openness to receive without fear. If your relationship with abundance has been shaped by anxiety, scarcity, or overgiving, this season is asking you to reconnect with your worth in a healthier way. Do not rush toward the first opportunity simply because you fear nothing else will come. Let your choices come from emotional balance instead of pressure. Ask yourself honestly whether something truly aligns with your value or whether fear is pushing you to settle too quickly. Sometimes blessings arrive disguised as decisions. That is why emotional clarity matters so much right now. During these final days of May, you may feel drawn towards certain colors and energies. White carries truth and emotional honesty. Green supports renewal and balance. Gold reminds you of confidence, worth, and receiving without guilt. Whether you wear these colors, keep them near you, or simply visualize them surrounding your energy, let them remind you that your value is no longer something you need to negotiate for. Sometimes the greatest miracle is not dramatic transformation. Sometimes it is realizing fear no longer controls your relationship with money, success, or recognition. It is waking up with clarity instead of heaviness. It is walking into opportunities without feeling the need to over-explain your worth because you already recognize it within yourself. That kind of calm confidence changes everything. So during this period, slow down enough to notice where life is beginning to soften in your favor. Let your choices rise from peace instead of pressure. Receiving abundance is not something you must earn through exhaustion. It is something you are finally learning to welcome. If this message speaks to you, take a quiet moment to affirm it for yourself. Say it softly or write it in the comments below. I am ready to receive with peace. I welcome abundance that reflects my true worth. Sometimes the deepest transformations begin through the smallest emotional shifts. The ritual during the evening of May 29th and the morning of May 30th is not simply symbolic. It is a way of preparing your energy for the next chapter unfolding around you before June begins. Nothing about this ritual needs to feel complicated. Its power comes from your presence and the energy you bring into each moment. Turning off the lights is about allowing distractions to quiet down, so your inner truth can finally be heard clearly. Lighting a white candle represents emotional honesty, surrender, and clarity returning to your spirit. When you place your hand over your heart and repeat your affirmation 3 times, you are reconnecting your mind, body, and spirit with the truth you are finally ready to accept. You are speaking directly to the quieter parts of yourself that have been waiting for permission to release emotional pain and old stories that no longer belong in your life. I no longer carry what hurt me. I am ready to step into truth. That affirmation becomes a doorway between the life you have outgrown and the emotional space your soul is finally ready to enter. And when you speak those words honestly, something inside you may begin to soften almost immediately. Maybe it feels like a deeper breath or a warmth spreading through your chest that reminds you it is finally safe to move forward. The morning of May 30th carries its own sacred energy as well. The way you begin that day matters because it speaks both to your spirit and to the deeper patterns living inside your subconscious. Choosing not to reach for your phone immediately is about reclaiming your presence before the outside world demands your attention. When your feet touch the floor and you quietly say, I walk in light, I receive what my soul is worthy of, you begin anchoring yourself into a different emotional frequency. You are no longer waiting passively for life to change. You are becoming an active participant in the next chapter unfolding around you. Energy responds to emotional readiness. Even the simplest rituals help your body understand what your spirit has already been trying to accept. They remind you that you are no longer the version of yourself who needed to tolerate the pain and emotional heaviness you have finally begun releasing. And when you repeat those final affirmations, I release what hurts me, I accept the truth, I choose peace and personal power, you are aligning yourself with the reality already moving toward you. Numbers also carry emotional meaning during this time. The energy of 2 reflects balance and harmony. May 29th represents emotional completion, while May 30th carries renewal and rebirth. And when 222 appears around you, let it remind you that you are supported through this transition. The number 7 carries a quieter spiritual message. It often appears when life is shifting beneath the surface in ways you cannot fully see yet. You do not need to chase what is already trying to reach you. You only need enough stillness to recognize it when it arrives. Allow this practice to become your pause before the next chapter begins opening. Not because you forced life to change, but because you finally became emotionally aligned with what was already waiting for you. And if something in your heart feels connected to this message, anchor that feeling now by writing in the comments below, I am open, I am ready, I trust the truth leading me home. If this message brought tears to your eyes, Libra, let them fall without shame. Those tears are not weakness, they are emotional release. They are proof that something inside you finally feels safe enough to soften and let go. You are not losing yourself during this transition. You are returning to yourself in a deeper and more honest way. That return is the real rebirth. Freedom was never hidden outside of you, waiting for someone else to unlock it. It has always existed within you, quietly waiting for you to remember your worth. Everything falling away from your life now is not punishment. It is evidence that you are outgrowing emotional patterns, relationships, and beliefs that no longer align with who you are becoming. The love you once struggled to receive, the financial breakthrough that seemed delayed, the recognition you waited years for, none of it arrives because you finally proved yourself worthy. It begins arriving because you stopped trying to prove anything at all. You remembered that your worth is not conditional. You remembered that your presence carries power, even in stillness. And now, only one question remains. Are you ready to step fully into what has been waiting for you this entire time? Not by chasing it or convincing anyone, simply by allowing yourself to receive it. Because what belongs to you may already be closer than you realize, and it does not require perfection from you. It only asks for your presence, openness, and willingness to trust this new season unfolding around you. So pause for a moment and ask yourself honestly, what if this is the turning point you once prayed for quietly during difficult nights? What if this message is the sign you asked the universe to send in a form your heart could finally recognize? Because it has. And if something inside you knows that truth, ground it into reality by writing this in the comments below. I am ready to step into my new destiny. I welcome the victory and peace meant for me. And if someone close to your heart has been searching for clarity, healing, or their own emotional breakthrough, share this video with them. They may be standing at the edge of the same transformation you once thought you would never reach alone. Before this message comes to a close, I sincerely want to thank you for being here, for your openness, your trust, and your energy. Every comment, every like, and every subscription helps this space continue reaching people who need encouragement, healing, and emotional clarity during important moments in their lives. So if this message touched something real within you, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember this above all else, Libra. You were never broken. You were preparing for a life that finally reflects the truth of who you are. The freedom you have been searching for has always lived within you, and today you are finally ready to claim it.